I'm the president and CEO of the YMCA of Delaware, and I am pleased and excited to be here with you today to make two very special announcements. So pay attention because they're really good. So the first announcement is that our downtown YMCA here, you're sitting in it, is going to open its doors this summer to teenagers who live in the City of Wilmington free of charge. So any young person that comes up to the doors gets a free membership to the Y. We've got lots of great stuff scheduled for them, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that later. This really came as the seed of an idea from many conversations that I had with the governor, with the mayor, with all of you in this room, really tasking us with figuring out a way to create a more positive experience for teenagers this summer in the city. So that's the first thing, free membership to the Y here at the downtown Y for the summer. The second thing, and I don't think it's over embellishing it to say that it's an historic collaboration between and among the Boys and Girls Club, the Latin American Center, the West End Neighborhood House, and the YMCA. All four of us got together and we had another collective conversation about, well, why can't a kid who goes to West End be a member of the Y, be a member of the Boys and Girls Club, be a member of the Latin American Center? So we've agreed to this collaborative to test it for the summer. Any young person that's a part of any one of those agencies is a member of all of them. So we hope in throwing out this collective safety net that we are able to serve more kids, and that almost on any given day or night there'll be something for young people to do in the City of Wilmington. So between these two things, this collaboration, the Y memberships, we think we're going to have a different kind of summer here in Wilmington for our kids. So we're really, really excited. Before I start to introduce our guest, I do want to say a few special thank yous, because programs like this cost money. They take time, energy, resources, and there are a few people who were foolish enough to take my phone call, listen to me, accept my proposal, and those folks are M&T Bank and Wilmington Trust. Their folks are here. Thank you. Erskine Financial Services, Mr. and Mrs. David Williams and John Williams, Esquire, another name you all know, the Buccini Polling Group, the Delaware State Department of Services for Children, Youth, and their Families. Thank you for coming through with extended hours money. The Mayor's Office for their ongoing support, their willingness to talk to our young people, and also for all the support they're going to provide, which you'll hear a little bit about from the Police Department. World Cafe Live at the Queen, they are crazy. They agreed to do our dances this summer. More details to follow. I want to thank our committee. These are folks who just came to the meetings and took their time. They could do anything, a million other things, but they came to these meetings. Bob Elder from Santora CPA Group. Greg Morris, Morris Project. Theo Nix, who's on our downtown board, and Ed Capodanno from Associated Builders and Contractors, the Delaware chapter. I'd also like to thank our boards. Our downtown board is among the strongest in our state. They always step up and they give and they work, and to some degree a lot of this is because of that group. But also our statewide board, they are all in. Anytime I want to do something for young people, they stand with me and they give us the support that we need. So I thank those folks as well. Of course, we want to thank our governor and our mayor, but we'll give them a moment to speak. I do want to say Maria Matos is not here today. We have some folks from Latin Center. Thank you for coming. George Krapansky is here from Boys and Girls Club, and Paul Calistro from the West End Neighborhood House. Thank you to my partners. Thank you for taking my phone call. No one wants to answer the phone when I call anymore. So if I forgot you, it's not intentional. Everybody in this room had something to do with this great partnership. So I'm in charge of moving our program along here, and I'd like to introduce Governor Jack Markell.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is a great announcement, and I give so much credit to Deb for pulling all of this together. You and I spoke, we spoke a while back, but then you called me maybe not more than 6 weeks ago, and she said she would love to find a way to figure out to, give kids in Wilmington an opportunity to use the Y during the summer. I said, well, that's a great idea, and she said, well, I got to go raise money. I said, okay. And here we are. And I mean, seriously, this is really, I think, so important because we all know, and we hear it from kids all the time, that they don't have enough to do. And that's not just words. I mean, that's real. And we have spent so much time and effort over the last couple of years trying to create and putting, 3 years ago or so, when we had very, very little money in the budget to do anything, we did put another couple $1 million in to provide after-school and summer programming for young people. And but there's never enough. But I think that the fact that you've pulled this off with this group of sponsors, and she mentioned those of you who were helping to fund this, and I just want to say how much I appreciate it, because I just think it is that important. And I think providing an opportunity for these young people during the summer to enjoy these facilities and to do something positive is huge. The second point that I wanted to make is related to what you said about the Y and West End and the Boys and Girls Club and LACC working together and providing opportunities together for the young people. And I just came, there's a big event today in Wilmington hosted by the Delaware Association for Not-for-Profit Agencies, and they had Jim Collins, who's the great Good to Great author in town, and it was like 900 people there, and I spoke to them just about 45 minutes ago. And what I said is, I think, very relevant to this part of the initiative, getting these agencies to work together. We spend a lot of time, if we're within government agencies, focused on, okay, well, what is my government agency responsible for? And for a long time, not-for-profit agencies, this is not a Delaware thing, this is sort of, a global thing. We say, okay, what is it that my agency does? And the conversation that I have all the time with my members of my cabinet is that if we put the people we serve at the center of everything that we do, as opposed to putting the agency that we lead at the center of everything we do, we're a whole lot more likely to be successful. And I think this idea of these groups coming together, who, and they all get along anyway, and they work collaboratively. But the idea of you coming together in this more formal way, I think, is really phenomenal. So I think the result of it is a lot of kids in Wilmington are going to be better off, and that's why we wake up every day anyway. So I just want to say how grateful I am to all of you who are making this happen. To the mayor, I know how important this is to you and to the chief of police. Because there's so much you can do with policing, but there's a lot of stuff you can do before the policing ever has to get involved. And I just think this is primo. When you're talking about providing things to do, places to go for young people from 13 to 18, is that right? From 13 to 18, so that they have something positive in their lives to look forward to. I mean, that's huge. It really is. And so I just, most importantly, want to thank and congratulate everybody who has made this happen. Thank you.
Can I quote you? That's primo. That's going to be my charge now. That's primo. Next, I'd like to introduce our City of Wilmington Mayor, Dennis Williams. I have to say the mayor has been very generous with our young people. He will come in on a Saturday afternoon and just sit down and talk with kids, and that's not something that you see very often in a mayor. So for that, I want to say thank you, and also thank you for the support you're providing. Come on up.
Well, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. I think this is a great day. We're putting our money on the table, and we're not saying the things we're going to do, we're already going to do that. And I want to thank all the partners up here who have worked together. And Paul, you've been an advocate for kids. I mean, you used to drive me crazy in the General Assembly when you come down, and I mean that. You've done such a great job, and I want to thank you, George. I mean, you go way back. What you've done for the Boys and Girls Club and your commitment to the City of Wilmington, and Larry, years ago when you had your center, I think you're getting ready to jumpstart that again. I mean, a lot of children that would have been arrested went to your center, and you've turned around to productive adults. They're school teachers and everything else now. And this is the things we need. We need people who are very committed and not just talking. And M&T Bank, I appreciate you being here and the things you've done, and all the other players. And this morning we had the Bank of America come in and give us an additional $50,000. We could hire an additional 45 kids. We just broke a record. We're going over 625 jobs for our children. And I want to say that's what it's all about. You know, all of us are players, and we all have to be a team and be committed. If we're going to save these children and we're going to save our society, we all have to be a team player. Politics has to go out the window. We have to be committed to our children, and I think this is the way to go, and this is the way to start. And believe me, I used to be one of those children, and I'm an advocate for those kids because I know what happens when people don't look out for you. I know what happens when people don't help you. I know what happens when you don't have mentors. I know what happens when the Boys and Girls Club's doors shut. That's why I gave them $1.6 million to keep them open when I was chairman of Joint Finance. God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to recognize that we have Larry Morris from Congressman John Carney's office with us today. Thank you for coming. Next, I'm going to introduce Police Chief Bobby Cummings. The police chief and his staff, his East Side representative, and some of the other guys on the team have been instrumental in partnering with us. Part of our focus in this initiative here at the Y is to get the police more involved, get them engaged with kids, kind of have them naturally flowing in and out during the day. And Police Chief Cummings is going to talk a little bit about that.
Good afternoon, everyone. When we received the phone call from the YMCA asking us to be involved, to sit to the table, we're always open to doing things for the kids. Captain Macetic was actually the first at the table to sit down and listen to the issues and concerns that were facing our children. So when we heard that this would be an opportunity for us to provide service for another safe haven in the city, something for our kids to do this summer that would keep them off the streets, giving them an opportunity to stay away from the police in a negative manner, and we saw that this was a positive thing that we could get involved in. So through Captain Macetic, we're going to engage in making sure that we provide a presence and then have officers come in to talk to the kids on the different issues that they're going through throughout the summer. So again, we're glad to be a part of this, and we hope this is successful for the summer, so thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Lee Bunting, our Downtown Executive Director, up to tell you a little bit more about what the young people are going to be doing.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the Central YMCA. I'm very proud to be the executive director here of this institution that's served the citizens of Wilmington and Newcastle County for 85 years. It's just been it's been a great institution. And we're going to take on another new chapter in that success with our Take on the Summer initiative. That's what we're calling this summer. That's going to keep kids active, going to keep them healthy, and keep them engaged in a very positive manner. As mentioned before, I'd like to thank Theo, for my board chairman, and we have Dan and Mike and Gail and Dennison here from our board to give us a lot of support that make this all possible, help raise some of the funds, open some doors with your contacts. And that's what it's all about, just like Dennis said. We're all in this together, all the partners are together, and we keep one thing in the front of our mind, and that's the youth. So thanks for all that. It's my pleasure to also introduce to you today Greg Morris. Greg is going to be our leader for the Take On Summer. He's going to be the leader of the program director. Greg comes to us with just a whole lot of experience in working with kids all over the country. He's a hard worker. He's a dedicated worker. But most of all, he really cares about kids. You can see it in his eyes. You can see it in his deeds. We've had several meetings, and you can just tell that his heart ticks with the heartbeat of youth and what's best for them and for our city. So he's a perfect fit for what we want to do. He's got contacts on the streets. He's got contacts in city government. He's got contacts in the business community. So, Greg, welcome, and why don't you come up and say a few words.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Morris from the Morris Project, and I want to just say first to the YMCA administration, to the board, to all of my colleagues that made this happen for me. I'm extremely humbled to have this opportunity. Thank you so much. As a person that lives, works, and socializes in the community that I live in, that I also serve, I know the importance of this opportunity for our kids in this community. The YMCA is one of the premier, if not the premier, facility for fitness and family in the entire state, as well as this region. I'm very honored to have this opportunity. I know what this means for our kids. For the next 10 weeks, we want this to shape up to be the premier summer program in the state. With the resources that are allotted to us, with the guidance that I have between the board and my leaders and my mentorship, we plan to make a lot of noise this summer. Thank you to Chrissy. I want to say hi to Chrissy. Thank you so much for everything. And I just really am honored for this. Thank you to the mayor's office, to the police chief, who I've met with several times, and to our board. Thank you so much.
So before I get the hook, I'd like to ask my friends from Boys and Girls Club and West End, you want to say a little bit about what you guys are doing this summer for kids? Come on up.
Well, thank you, Deb. First of all, I would like to thank Deb for the initiative. It was really her idea, and we were on the phone collectively on a conference call, and we just started rattling out ideas of what could we do quickly to make things happen. And she said, don't worry about it. I'm the boss there. This is what's going to happen. And so cutting right through the red tape is important for these kinds of initiatives. And I'd like to thank George. George has been doing this up and down the state and up and down the peninsula for many, many years. And he's really a quiet leader who cares about kids. So I just want to thank George. And finally, you know, this is like an ATM card with no fees. You know, the young people can go into any facility and just basically say, I'm here, I want to participate, versus having to go through red tape, having to pay a membership fee, or having to be from some particular neighborhood. So we think having young people something to do in each center every night throughout the summer, we hope will give them a solid basis for their summer and a safe haven for them to play and to recreate in. And we thank everyone for their support in coming today. Thank you.
Well, it is indeed an exciting day, and thank you all for being here. This collaboration, I think, is going to have a tremendous impact upon young people. One of the things that I know I'm very concerned about, and I know many of you share this concern as well, is what is taking place with young people across this country as it relates to law enforcement and interaction with police officers. About 2 months ago, we conducted a training program where we now have 20 individuals from 7 different agencies, including the police department, and the United Way, who will now be trained facilitators who will go into different parts of the community, including this facility here, and be able to talk with young people about their rights as an individual, but also their interaction with law enforcement and the way to handle themselves and hopefully avoid some of the terrible things that we've seen in other parts of this country. So if that makes a difference for even one young person, that is well worth it. We're excited about this.
Would our friends from the Latin Center like to say something? I know you're not prepared, but you're welcome. Maria's not here, so come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edgar Martinez. I am with the Latin American Community Center. I'm the Director of Youth Development there at the agency. I just want to say how happy I am and proud of our city and our leaders in the city to put this effort together, and thank you so much to the YMCA for doing this. It's good to know that no matter what time of day, no matter what day of the week, throughout the summer, our youth in the City of Wilmington have a place to go to be in a positive environment around positive people that can make a difference in these people's lives. At the Latin American Community Center, we try and we make effort after effort to make sure that our youth in our neighborhood have a place to go 5 days a week, sometimes even out throughout the weekend. We have an evening enrichment program that we offer our kids to come and participate in this program throughout the week, again, to keep them in a positive environment. But sometimes during the daytime, they have no place to go. So it's good to know that now they can come to the YMCA, partake of the services that are going on here, and again, to just be surrounded by wonderful people like everyone in this room that cares about the City of Wilmington youth. It makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference in the kids in their lives. So again, thank you so much. I look forward to working with every single one of you, and let's keep this going.
So the one thing I forgot to tell our sponsors and board members is we don't have anything on Saturday from 4 to 6, so it's hot dogs at your house. So that concludes our program. I do want to say if anyone has any questions of any of the folks that are running the programs at the different agencies, we're going to hang around here for a little while. And again, thank you so much for coming and supporting us today. We really appreciate it. We're really excited. Thank you so much.